Recording, да, есть, все, поехали.
Whoa!
Hi,
Hello everyone.
are you seeing me?
I sure don't.
Okay, so, well, I see everything. So,
It works.
welcome back to the development stream of Spire of Sorcery. Today brings to the end almost the 4th month when we reworked the whole game to change to hex-based, turn-based direct control mechanics. As a short reminder, we worked on the game since 2017. This colleague of mine, Rita.
Whatever her name is, who cares?
No. I was like thinking, should I say colleague? Should I say this lady? Should I say this woman? Should I say this, whatever, co-worker, товарищ? Anyway, so she joined our studio, I think three years ago, almost 3 years ago, to work specifically on this project. So that sort of brings us back to the fact that it's been 3 years that we work on this game.
I still remember how I went to the basement of the old office.
I don't.
I remember.
That we've met at the coffee house.
Yeah, that I remember as well. And but I also remember how I went to the basement and I brought like a ton of art books and I was trying to figure out like the style of the game. So I remember that.
So just to explain, in the basement of the old office, I had a fireplace. So even right now, given the cold weather, I would be sitting in front of the fireplace and the dogs will be lying in front of the fireplace. So
you would have a pipe. You would have a pipe.
No, I
do
not smoke in that office. No. Both me and the dog are missing the fireplace.
Yeah.
Anyway,
also
3 years.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Also, our colleague Andrei, he just can't shut up about the fireplace. It's just a thing.
Know. So
I've never seen it.
Okay, to finish the story about the fireplace, we are here in this office for almost 3 years. We own the place, so we've built the place as we want. The previous place we rented, and it was more central, a little bit more. I mean, we're in Old Town. That was also in Old Town. We had some commercial agency renting the place upstairs above us. And they had this huge fireplace, and the owner of the place said, like, yeah, sure, go ahead, you can use it. So we started using it, and it's very cozy. And when you have dogs in the office, and just when you have artists, also your friend Yaroslav, who worked on Gremlins,
I love it when you have dogs or artists in the office.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same effect.
It was like basically artists and the dogs were sneezing in front of the fireplace, then like drawing something and so on. Yeah. And so we burned it every day until the guys upstairs complained that, what the hell? Like the whole wall is getting warm. What is going on? Like,
what a surprise. So
we went through 2 trucks of firewood in one very cold winter. And that was pretty cool. I was like, I'm still missing those days. Anyway, almost 3 years to work in this game. We released the game in limited early access in the middle of November last year. And in November and December, that was about 6 weeks, we looked at how people played and we read a lot of feedback. And what we realized is that certain things are just not as fun as we thought they would be. So we found ourselves either having to go and build an adventure game, meaning that we would write 1,000 pages of events and you'll get some random new events. And that'll be the fun of the game. Like you really have no influence. What you can do is you can just scroll through the book and then boom, oh, this happened. Or we have to go back and give direct control to the player and see that you can actually like think strategically how you can win this. So we went this route and we structured the map into hexes and we've made it turn-based and we've given you direct control. We went from having 30 characters to having 4 or 5, 3, making that more important and so on. Almost got my waffle here. And so we spent January and February, I would say, deconstructing and taking things apart. And then March and April, building up from the foundation. And if in January and February we kept changing things and throwing things out, in March and April right now, we're just building. That's it. Like, we know what we want to do and we're just building. And I think I haven't seen any major changes over the last couple of months.
Building is a good word, because we had to throw a lot of stuff away and we had to rethink a lot of stuff. So it's basically like building a new game from the stuff we have, the assets we have, so it takes time.
It's the mental difficulty or challenge of waking up, coming to the studio and thinking from scratch, like thinking, I don't have to do this unless it makes sense. So I think in a lot of ways we got caught in this, is that, okay, we've got 4 different injury types and 3 levels of injury, that's 12 injuries, and then there's a 5th type of injury, which is random injury. And we kind of got around to creating assets for those. And then one day we said, why the hell do we need so many? Does it really bring anything to the table? And it didn't. And so we are like, okay, that goes away.
Now, when you throw stuff out, you have to rebuild stuff again. And then you have these bits of void in places. And that you need to fill in, basically, because our game had an identity. Our game had many identity crises.
I would say
two major identity crises, and now we're building a new identity for this game. So it gets a bit confusing sometimes, where part of you is still in the past, and the other part has to think forwardly and be like, hey, it's a totally new game. Forget about the past. It's very strange. Yeah.
But in a way, I mean, that's what our commitment is, that we want to ship a fun game.
Yeah.
And the game we had was not that fun. So even though as a human, you want to just go on and do what you've done and ship it and collect the money and maybe say, screw it, we'll have a chance to make a better game next time. We didn't do it because we had the opportunity. We were like able to push this back. We don't have any debt hanging over our head. And our really commitment is we want to see the community and the players excited, happy, coming back and saying, wow, I had this situation and then I did this and this and whoa. So that's what our ambition is.
Yeah, also it is a very bad feeling of when you feel like something is not working, but you're sort of pushing it away because like, okay, we need to move on. We can't address it because, there's no time to address it. And then once the game is out, suddenly realize that like the whole base of the game doesn't really work. It's probably the saddest thing.
I've been in a couple of projects before, different studios where we have the same feeling that if you go for lunch, like everyone is more or less happy, but no one can explain what the game is about. And as you push people, they get defensive, they get aggressive, they get unhappy. But you're like, so this game is about, and then they're like, just, shut up, we'll build it, it'll be fine. And then we built it, we shipped it, and it went down to like 60% Metacritic score, and no one ever thinks back to those years saying, "Oh, that was a great time." No,
you push it under the rug. It's like it never happened.
Yeah. So in a way, there's enough of us here in the team to give each other the confidence that we're not going crazy, and that we're not like changing things consistently and so on, but that we're actually improving and building, and we're going to ship soon. The other effect of this is that we have one member of our team who's working remotely. We're all working remotely right now, but he's even like remotely, so in a different country, in a different city. And he wasn't following our daily conversation. And then one day he says, "Oh, I'm so depressed about Spire of Sorcery. I don't know. It feels like everything is changing and nothing is changing." And the recipe was just like, go to developer branch, launch the game, and play it, and you will see how it changed. Because, of course, we understand that we cannot put every player into our head and just explain what's going on. So we are trying to run as fast as we can to shipping this updated version, and at the same time, keeping our eyes on the ball and not, making a blunder, not shipping something that is semi-cooked. Right. Anyway.
What did we cook, Sergey? What did we cook?
So today we don't show you the build. We show you just a bunch of art that she created. That's meant to give Andre and the coding team some extra time to spend today instead of working on the build, to work to focus on improving certain things. So today we're going to talk about restorative substances, and I'll explain how that works, and that hasn't changed in a couple of months. So that's shipping, the books and scrolls, and then a category of items called tradable items. So let me start.
Tradable items and more.
Yeah, and also characters. So let's start from this very simple introduction that has been cooking for some time. If you follow the game for some time, you know that we have different clothing sets for characters. They used to be pretty random. So a character would generate with blue hair, and then she would get this dress, and he would get this dress, and that would be a part of their identity. We figured out that it's good to know what is the strongest skill of a specific character just by looking at
these outfits in the past, they had significance as well, right?
They were connected to the biography.
Oh, yeah. They were connected to their personalities and their past, but now they're connected to their skills, basically, yeah.
And they change. Yes, they change. So a couple of those we will still work on, but the rest is final. So if your character is the strongest in geology, this is the canon version. We don't like it much, so we'll change it probably. If the strongest skill is herbology, collecting foraging herbs and plants, then this is the outfit. If it's monstrology, then this is the outfit.
You look like Brotherhood, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, including the hat. The hat tends to make them all look pretty much the same, but it's unlikely that you'll have everyone strong in monstrology. So if they are strong in travel, this is how they look. This is originally a wildling outfit. If they're strongest in combat, then they look like soldiers here. If they're strong in the skill of communication, which includes foreign languages, then this is how they look, pretty fancy. And then if they're strong in guile is the skill that you use to trick people and creatures and humans and non-humans. And this is how they look, except for male characters will remove the mask. And now, if they're strongest in the magic, then this is how they look. The difference is the color of their cloak. So it's green for creation, red for destruction, and sort of teal, I guess, for distortion. So that's just to give you an idea of the amount of iterations, as
These
usual.
Some oldies but goldies.
Yeah. I mean, I like this sort of thing with eyes on top of the head, as well as like this hat didn't work out because everyone looked the same, like the twin brother. I personally like this one a lot.
The horned one.
Yeah. So it's too unique to make it scalable, and then things like this, for example, didn't really. Yeah, it was too much, and this guy, like he was maybe trader, but he looks like a Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it's like a very classical medieval sort of hoodie thing. When it comes to those fancy ladies, I still remember how we were discussing, these are like the rich origin people. But then we were talking about how, can you imagine this lady running away from the guilds of mages, like with this hat?
Oh, we had many. Yes. We had many discussions, including that. We had some feedback that, in the poor world of runes, people never have bright colors like in the medieval times. So when we look to the medieval times, apparently every peasant had something bright colored because they used natural colorings. Anyway, going from the characters to the restorative substances, in the game, we have 3 items that replenish your health, 3 items that restore your magic energy, 3 items that remove poisoning progressively, and then 1 item which resurrects dead character.
Yeah.
The concept for let's take a look first at the remove poisoning, because it's pretty much final here. So level 1, level 2, level 3. It was important for us. Yeah, can you explain what you worked on?
So you'll see it later on in the full board, but we have like many potions that help you that help to enhance your skills, basically. So we wanted to have the poisoning bottle look different than just a regular bottle. So we were going for a shape that is like sharp, would remind you of poison. But also it should have a positive connotation, because we can't just have a green liquid. It's removing poison, so it should be something positive, something neutralizing, basically. And we had so many arguments about if level 1 is a small bottle, should level 3 be a bigger bottle, or it should be a smaller, like should go from like small to big or big to small. And
yeah, the struggle is real. I mean, if you know our team, and hopefully you will appreciate the results. What you've seen here is the result of probably 20 different versions and discussions. And since it's poisoning, we were happy to make it edgy, sharp at the end. And then you can see the progression, so there's no mistaking which one is more valuable than the other. And then for resurrection, again, there was a ton of discussions about what it should be like, and we went for.
I don't remember if we showed on the stream the other versions, though. I
think we could have shown, because it was about a month ago. But this is the result, and this is the combination of a living thing and a substance. So you could say it's a substance cyborg, basically. It's a spider that goes into the mouth of the dead person, and then dissolves, and then reanimates that person, and then you have the character who's resurrected. Oh yeah, here. So look, like
there we go.
You can compare for example, sharp and the usual substance. So this is the usual substance, and this is the substance that deals with poisoning. And now about the food and the
basically also huge discussions about what restore HP and ME should look like, health points and magical energy. Because at first we wanted to do bottles as well, and then Sergey was like, I had enough
bottles.
He's like, let's have like candy and shit. Well,
so we wanted to have something that looks tasty, that looks great. So this is probably like multiple iterations happened as well on a different board. On this board, we can see some of the latest steps.
Yeah, it's basically a different person was doing, our dear colleague Mindaugas was doing a ton of concepts forever, because we couldn't decide what we wanted. And then I just took, the final concepts, and I was finalizing them, basically.
And going left to right, it's a little bit of health, more health than a huge
chunk of health. Yeah.
Yep. So that was one of the options, trying to find the color, basically. And here you can see magic is blue in the game, so that was easy. But here we're trying to see if we can find the color for the health items.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of different
Sergey didn't know what sprinkles are. It was so funny.
I'm sorry. Due to my mostly sugar-free lifestyle, I had no idea that these things exist.
He was like, look at number 1. It's so unique, so revolutionary.
And then they showed me this photograph, and
you were like, disgusting. Oh, what is this?
So we went through this, and then in the end, we all left This too for magic, except for this ending, too many details, too many excessive details. We agreed to try to make it simpler. Like you can compare, for example, here's a simple cat, and then here's a complicated cat. So one of us,
it's like dripping. It's already the chocolate is still right. It's
yeah.
Anyways, they decided to make a Mars bar out of it. So there you go. You have a Mars bar that has been cut into pieces.
Well, this is my contribution. I came up with the idea of putting an eye inside. Then we had the swirl, but it was too closely associated with the magic things. And so the final version, now everyone agreed on, is right here. Basically more neutral, so the color shines, and you can see the green stuff is for health. The blue stuff is for magic, and they all look... they're all supposed to look yummy, and and that's exactly what they are. I mean,
they're allegedly delicious, yes.
Well, yeah, someone eats them, and boom, the whole health is restored. That's very good for the game.
No, I'm glad that we went with the alternative, that we went away from bottles, because now there's a very clear distinction between the two. Yeah.
All right, and then that's a whole new category called tradable items. These items cannot be used in crafting. You cannot disassemble them into substances or like properties or whatever. You can trade them with sentient beings. There are 6 non-human races in Chapter 1 that you can exchange barter with. And these are the items that you gain when you kill, defeat creatures, and you extract from them the stuff that you make.
It's just half of them. It's just, or maybe, no, it'll be more later on.
So first of all, the snake skin, the split jaw skin. Then we took an eye from the Cyclop and turned it into the eye from this little guy, Blackpool.
Still cruel, still awful, but a bit less awful, I suppose.
Yeah.
They're not sentient, but...
They're not very sentient, no. And then we've got locusts who were laying eggs.
Sausage.
So this is the nest, and from the nest you can extract those buds. And then we have a nest of bloodsuckers in the swamps, and this is the larva that you can extract from those.
Delicious, yes.
In addition to all those wonderful items.
Oh, there you go. You have... Okay, later on we'll have all of them together. Really.
So we were more or less like we did some attempts to make the skin more voluminous. Then
like pizza. It was like a pizza slice, and
then this was not very nice. Okay, we looked at this piece of fat and we thought, let's make it more like it belongs to a wild animal, and then instead it became very sad and all the like low quality. And then didn't like the symmetry here, so make the symmetry less.
We have symmetry police in our office. We have symmetry police, and we have also in one person it's symmetry/detail police. So if your image is too symmetrical or too detailed, then it'll be like wheel.
Yeah. This is Stingtail. You can extract wings. This is what the wing used to be, and this is what it became. We wanted to have more splatter, more blood.
Yes. We are a dark fantasy game, allegedly.
This is, by the way, the icon for tradable goods. Then we have Flutter wings. So Flutter is resource, so he's huntable. This is the new version, and then any other changes. Let's see, almost done here. So that was
just scroll to the last.
Yeah, failed attempts to make the skin more voluminous. A bit improvement here on the wings. So problem with those eyes, like these are the eyes, but here it wasn't clear to all of us that the eye sort of retracts into this closure. So we tried to make it more obvious.
Also stylistically, just the items were a bit, basically in the old version of the game, we had the items' fanciness, the look of the items go from dull to shiny based on their rarity. And now we're going for a thing where it doesn't really matter. Basically, shiny items will be shiny. Matte items will be matte. So yeah.
So here's all the tradable items in the game. In Chapter 1, 15 of them. The lure that you can get from forest cats, the skin from split jaw, wings from flutter, eyes from drowner, That's the same lure, so it's not 15, it's 14. The fat from the Snook, the eyes from Blackpaw, the pearls from snares, bloodsuck the larva from their nests, the buds from locusts, giggler eggs. I think this is saliva.
Yeah.
This is acid, like stoma acid from crawlers.
Yep.
The flutter wings, and then the spikes from the guys that live on the trees and attack. So we're done here. The next thing we've done and finished is the books. Now, we used to have 5 levels of books. So here you can see last year's results: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Plus ancient language. We had like ancient language.
Oh yeah. So common and common. Wait, very rare, uncommon. Common,
yeah, we have 5. We just had 5.
Basic. Yeah. Okay.
Plus, we also, if you go to the right a little bit, we also had fiction. Oh, there you go, ancient language.
Yeah. So just to explain where we started is we used to show the skill icon here and the icon of the overall book.
Yeah.
And we had 3 types of scrolls going up by fanciness level. And then some of the books could be in the ancient tongue, so that would change the cover. And then we had fiction, which had no relationship to the skill, but all randomly contained some
all of
stuff.
It just trashed into the trash.
So we came to the idea of using skill icons right on the cover of the books. And right now, every skill has 3 books. You can collect them, build the whole collection in the library, and then you get 40% extra bonus for your experience. Now, we started here. You can see the attempt of Rita trying to create 3 different levels of combat-based books. That's a lot of books, a lot of discussions. A lot of like trial and error here.
Oh yeah, because skills, basically these discussions were about how each skill level will have a different color, but also different metal bits on them, and yada yada.
And yada yada.
Yada 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 yada.
So more. This is the invisible work that we do that you guys hopefully don't have to think about, but just enjoy the results.
Yeah, don't think about it. You're gonna get.
You can imagine the discussions that led to comments and changes, and anyway, we're almost done here. This was almost acceptable to everyone, and then I think this is
no. If you go down, this is just discussions about the color saturation for the magics.
And finally, we've got those books. And you can see the changes. Like level 1 is 100 experience. Level 3 is 800. So it's 8 times more beneficial to you. And then the one in the middle is 300. So geology, astrology, herbology. The next group is travel, communication, combat, guile. And then we've got 3 magic books. Mm-hmm. So overall, I just finished doing it. It was like 90 common books, 60 uncommon books, 30 rare books. That's 180 books in the whole game in total, and there's 30 unique. Yeah, so 30 unique and then a bunch of copies. Overall, it goes up to 180. You can use them for a character to gain experience boost, or you can install them in the library, and then everyone gets boost when getting new experience. Something that we've worked on also is we realized we need a scroll for something called rituals, which we cannot tell you about because that mechanic is still not in the game.
So allegedly we will have this mechanic. But
so there's a ritual, and the ritual, to learn a ritual, you need the scroll. To get a scroll, you can get it from loot in catacombs and ruins. Mm-hmm. And so we were looking for a fancy scroll.
I like this board. I like this board because it's short.
Yes, short and simple. So that's the scroll we got, but we started from having 3 scrolls here from last year. Yep. And then finally, to give you an idea about the amount of work that's in Chapter 1 and outside of Chapter 1, this is not in chapter 1. Like,
and
this
it's still not everything that we threw out. It's like a third.
This is waiting for chapter 3, probably. Some of it chapter 2, but some of it chapter 3. Like this stuff is chapter 2. This stuff is chapter 3 when you go to the Empire. And then the stuff that we have in the game already and that you will see in just a few weeks. All the magic instruments, skill enhancing substances, restorative substances here, tradable items, creature resources. We've got 6 minerals in chapter 1, 6 plants, 1 scroll once we add rituals.
Yeah, allegedly 1 scroll, yes.
3 armors, 3 types of backpacks, and then 30 books, 30 different books, and then something that is not there yet.
Yes.
That's going to be the end of chapter 1. That's what you'll need to finish.
Yeah, basically 3 items that are invisible right now.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, that's about it. 35 minutes. I think we can switch back to the camera. Can we?
Yeah.
I think our kind Jean is doing this. Oi, oi. I think...
Did you break it?
Well, I didn't, but it's not me who's controlling the studio.
Oh, the kind genie is messing around. Oh,
so instead of you, we've got a half aboard instead of you.
He's a rascal. He's a rascal, genie.
Give me 10 seconds. Yay! Hello. Anyway, do you want to add anything as this stream reaches its 35th minute? I should reach like a little help sign, but it's not a help sign. It's it's actually Anyways. Just a few weeks until we ship. Thank you for the patience. Please bear with us. It's for a good reason that we feel that the interface needs some extra work and the things we need to tie together. We're still tying them together. We're not losing any time.
If you have feelings about our game or about us, the Discord is the Discord channel is open for you and your opinions. We post updates there. We post work in progress there. So thoughts, feelings, comments are welcome.
It's what she said.
What I said, yes.
Anyway, thanks for sticking with us for another week, and we'll see you next Wednesday with a new build. And then we'll talk to our colleagues about how close we are to releasing it into the limited early access.
And see them hide, like.
And then you won't see me because I'm expecting a different release in a couple of weeks. So if you don't see me on any of the streams, then I'm busy somewhere doing.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's not going to be a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to grow a longer beard, I expect. And hair as well.
2 months without a haircut. Everything for the safety. So he can also stick with the current time. It's what we have to do.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you guys, and see you later. Bye.